The Epic Life TV, your home for mastery of habits which create your epic life and business.
What is up, Epic Lifers? It is so good to have you back here again. I'm Mr. O, and this is the Epic Life TV, the only life worth living, home of the rich, ripped, and ridiculously happy. Hey, if it's your first time here, introduce yourself below in the comments, and if you haven't already, check out our trailer and you'll get to know all about what the Epic Life is all about. I do believe there is a link in the description, conveniently placed there for you. Yo. Hear what, yeah? Man's gonna show you how to get more energy. You get me, bruv? Okay, I'm gonna probably take these off because I don't know what happens, but whenever I put these on, I just get that stupid accent. I don't know where it comes from, but when I put them on, seriously, watch this. When I put them on, I just start changing. Yeah, fam, you get me, you know what I mean? And then I take them off. How are you doing? Yes, I start talking properly again. And then when I put, anyway, you get the point. I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. So in this video, we are going to be more serious, okay? I was just messing around. For those of you that are new to the channel, I am actually being serious here. I'm going to show you how to eat your way to maximum energy, or even drink your way into maximum energy. Right? Because when you have the most amount of energy, you're able to get the most out of yourself. You'll notice that the people that are the high performers in life, they've got high levels of energy. They have high levels of willpower, which is what enables them to have a very high level of performance. And they also live a very high quality of life. And so, of course, that is what the Epic Life TV is all about. Having an epic life, a very high quality of life. And that can be in many different areas, right? In your finances, in your health, and in your general happiness. And so in this video, we are of course focused on the Epic Life Optimum series, and we're talking about health. So what we're going to be talking about are some simple changes that can actually help you to maximize that energy, because I bet there's some goals that you have in your life. Maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to build muscle, you know, whatever your goals are. And so many of you know that I promote a plant-based diet. And what we're also going to be addressing in this video is why on earth, you know, there's some people that go vegetarian and vegan and, you know, they say, man, I've felt the best I've ever felt in my life. This is awesome. And then you get some people and it's like, you know, even the meat eaters, they observe these people and they're like, dude, I ain't trying to be on no plant-based diet because that person is always sick. They're always miserable. And I just don't want to be like that. I'm better off eating my meat, right? So why is that? Why is it that some vegans and vegetarians are sick all the time, right? And a lot of them are overweight as well, and they can't seem to figure out why. You're gonna figure out exactly why in this video. And also, let's say for example that you're trying to lose weight, right? And you've been trying for a long time and you're just like, man, it doesn't matter how much I exercise, all these diets, it just doesn't seem to be working for me. You're gonna find out why in this video. So you wanna stay tuned right until the end because you're gonna get all that good juicy info, okay? We're also gonna be talking about acid and alkaline balance because it actually affects your body in a major way. It affects your energy, it affects the flow of oxygen, it affects your cholesterol even, it affects your retention of fat, and whether you're sick or healthy. Seriously, it's a big topic. Now, from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, please by all means do correct me in the comments below, but the person, the original progenitor of the whole fascination with this acid and alkaline balance, that maybe you've heard of it, or if not, you're hearing about it for the first time, this is where it came from. There's a guy called Dr. Neil Solomon, okay, and he was someone that worked in Johns Hopkins University. And it's his research that really spurred things off with this whole movement. So basically, here's the deal, right? Your body works on electricity, believe it or not. Although you're organic matter, your body works, your cells, your nervous system, it all works through electrical impulses. It's electrical charge in your very cells that create energy within your body that allows your organs to function. They need electrical power, and that is created through chemistry. Chemistry is what makes it possible for that electricity to be present in your body. So when any organ or any cells that make up organs are not functioning properly, it is because they are lacking the resources necessary to produce the electrical charge for them to function at optimum. And that's all due to a chemical imbalance of acid and alkaline. Now, the acid and alkaline balance in your body is basically regulated by your lungs and your kidneys by a process called homeostasis, okay? Now, acid and alkalinity is basically measured by the potency of hydrogen, okay? So it's called pH, if you've heard of that before. And the scale is 1 to 14, so 1 being very acidic, okay? So pH 1 is basically enough to burn through steel, pretty much, okay? And pH 14 is a very, very strong alkaline, right? So something like sulfuric acid, that's like a pH 1, right? A Coke is like a 2.6 because it has phosphoric acid in it. Now, your stomach has a very high level of hydrogen potency with a substance called hydrochloric acid that's in your stomach, and that's what's used to break down food, right? Now, 7 is right in the middle, and that's neutral. So that's a pH 7. That's basically water, okay? Now, your blood, in order for you to be healthy, needs to be between 7.35 and 7.40, right? And your lungs and your kidneys regulate that pH, okay? Now, here's the thing. If your body goes either 1 point up or 1 point down, you know what happens? That electrical charge in your body, that energy that you've got, just goes out. It's kind of like having an electrical socket and then just pulling the plug. What happens when you pull the plug on anything that you have, any appliance in your house? You're done. It stops working, and that's what would happen in your body. Literally, if your body went too alkaline to pH 8, you would be dead. Okay? And the same thing if it went the other way to acid. All right? Your body gets to 7.22 pH, you're done. Okay, you will die. Now, that's in your actual bloodstream. Okay, I'm not talking about actual cells, because the cells in your body actually are slightly acidic, okay? And that's all right for them to be like that, because that's the pH they need to actually function. And they can vary a bit more than your actual blood. So a healthy cell would be a 6.5 pH, and it needs to be acidic to actually absorb the minerals that you get in through your food. Now, interestingly enough, soil is about 6.4, right? And soil is where a lot of our food grows from, and a lot of the minerals in the soil is what goes into the food, which actually ends up going into your cells. So it's interesting that soil and cells are actually very close in a pH balance. Now, an unhealthy cell, something like a cancer cell or fungus or something like that, that would be a pH of 5.5. So you can see that when people are sick, all right, their body is very acidic, or the cells are too overly acidic. And so that's something that you want to get regulated and under control. So here's the deal here, okay? This whole New Start program that we're going through, the Epic Life series, all right? If you don't know what New Start is, if you're new to this channel, there are other videos at the beginning of this series. There's a playlist that you'll find in the description box below that will give you all the videos in this entire series in its order. So if you want to go back, you can watch that, but you can still watch this video on its own anyway, it's fine, all right? But these New Start principles, okay, they are the 8 laws of health, and when they're broken, you're basically in a situation where you create an acidic environment in your body. And when you obey them, you create an alkaline environment in your body, and therefore you're able to survive, not only survive, but you're able to thrive and feel energetic and feel good and feel strong. Now, here's the thing. Most people aren't living the New Start principles, and therefore they're living a very acidic lifestyle. All right, we are constantly, just by the food and drink that we consume, we're constantly testing the body's ability to regulate this acidic alkaline balance, right? We're just constantly testing and really pushing the body to have to keep exhausting the resources in order to do this. And basically, when you get to a certain age and you're feeling all these aches and pains, it's basically, sometimes people think, oh, over a period of time, you know, you get old and then you start feeling weak and your body starts breaking down. And of course, you know, naturally with age that will happen. But the thing is this, is that we actually speed that process up really quite significantly by eating and drinking things that we shouldn't be. And the fact of the matter is that there are people who are quite senior in age, right, who live these New Start principles, who don't feel any aches or pains at all. And it's because they have the right environment in their body, an alkaline environment in their body. Their blood is alkaline and they're very healthy. And so you've got people that are in their 40s and 50s with aches and pains, sometimes even earlier than that, all right? And then you've got people that are in their 70s, their 80s, and they're just like full of life and full of energy. And you might be wondering to yourself, what is going on here? How come those people are doing so well? It must be genetic. Well, genetics isn't always the right answer. All right, I don't think there's anybody on this planet that would not be benefited by having an alkaline balance in their body, because that is what you're supposed to be anyway. And if you'll bring your lifestyle into alignment with that, then you're going to see a huge difference in the quality of the life that you have, and you're going to spend a lot longer in your life without those aches and pains, all right, or if at all. And also, something that people don't talk about a lot is your emotions. Believe it or not, your emotions actually have a huge effect on the acidity of your body. All right. And you can actually feel the difference. I mean, you know, you think about when you're worrying about something, all right, when you have resentment, when you have unforgiveness about something, all right, when you're angry or you're frustrated about something, you know, you start to feel different, don't you? Well, that's because of the chemicals that are being released in your brain around those thoughts, and they don't feel very good, and they're acidic, and they can literally destroy the body. In fact, there's a passage that written by the old wise sage King Solomon, all right, in the book of Proverbs, I believe it's chapter 17 and the 22nd verse. It says that a broken spirit drieth the bones, all right, but a merry heart does good like a medicine. So your very emotions can change not only how good you feel, but how healthy you'll actually be. Now, if you're wondering what the pH or the acidity of your body is, you can actually go down to the pharmacy and get some pH strips. And what you do is you put them on your tongue, and the color that actually ends up on the strip, you can mark it along the markers that they give you, and you'll be able to see how acidic your body actually is. Now, in your actual blood, right? Because we're talking about acid and alkaline in your actual blood here, which affects your energy and the oxygen that can get around your body, okay? The outside of the red blood cell has a negative charge, okay? And inside the red blood cell has a positive charge. Now, the reason for the negative charge on the outside is because what it does is it stops the red blood cells from sticking together, all right? The negative charge, if you remember your chemistry or your physics and your biology in school, you'll remember that two negative charges, all right, I think that's physics actually, isn't it? Two negative charges will repel each other, okay? They separate from each other, and you don't want the red blood cells clumping up together, and so they've got negative charges on the outside so that they'll be separate, so that your body can actually carry as much oxygen and have as much surface level available as possible, because if it doesn't have that, then there's not much room for the oxygen to actually get in, and then you've got low levels of energy, all right, because your red blood cells are clumping together. So when acid comes by, what happens is it has a positive charge and it strips the negative charge from the red blood cells. And this can be caused by food, it can be caused by drink, or it can be caused by your actual emotions. It strips that charge, your cells clump, and your energy drops. And your red blood cells in an acidic environment, they weaken, and then what happens is they actually release their own acid into the bloodstream on top of the acid that's already present. So you're even more acidic. And so if you keep putting in acid, you actually pollute your body. And then you get all these aches and pains, and you're like, oh man, maybe I'm just getting a bit old now. I'm just feeling those aches and pains. It's not due to age, it's due to the fact that your body's resources are being depleted. It's all down to acidity and lack of oxygen in your joints and in your cells. That's what's actually going on here. So let's say, for example, you drink Coke, okay, which has phosphoric acid, pH of 2.6, and it has 15 teaspoons of sugar, all right? If that wasn't enough, okay, you go ahead and you drink that. The body now has to regulate the acidity that you've just put in. And so, by the way, for every 1 part of acid in your body, you need 4 times the alkaline, 4 parts alkaline, just to bring that acidity down to neutral again, right? And so can you imagine if you're drinking a whole Coke as big as your head, okay? Can you imagine how that taxes the resources in your body? I mean, it's amazing that the body has the ability to cope for all those years, all right? And it takes that long for your body to start breaking down. But anyway, what actually happens is it has to find an alkaline substance from somewhere, all right? And what it does is it goes to the biggest reserves of alkaline, all right, which is in your bones. And so what happens is the body takes calcium from your bones, okay, calcium phosphate, to neutralize that acidic blood. And now you've got calcium phosphate just coursing through your body, and it settles it on your joints as gout, all right? And that's when you start to feel arthritis and all of these different things, right? You have a buildup of kidney stones. You get gallbladder stones. And so your body's using all these reserves to combat all this acid. But my question is this: what happens when all your reserves are done? right? That's when you actually start to get disease. That's when it becomes apparent. You go to the doctor because you're feeling this pain, you're not feeling too good, and then the doctor tells you some bad news, all right? You've got cancer, you've got diabetes, you've got, whatever it is, however it's decided to manifest itself in your body. Because what happens is that acid will go to the weakest part of your body, wherever that is, and it goes there because that's where it can go and thrive, right? So that's where it goes. It goes to try and find an environment where it can thrive and prosper. So it weakens something that's already weak, and then it gets worse. And by the way, when the reserves are done, okay, because the body's always trying to balance things and trying not to take too much from one place, your body's always trying to spread out risk as much as it can. And so when reserves are kind of low, what the body will do is it will take acid out of the bloodstream in order to protect your organs, and it envelopes it in fat, okay? Because fat is an alkaline substance and is there in order to actually protect you, right? Because if that acid actually gets into the organs, now you've got real problems, okay? And so what you'll find is when people have the genetic disposition to be more overweight, you'll actually find that they're somewhat more healthier than someone that's skinny, because the skinny person, like someone like me, for example, right? I'd have a hard time putting on weight. Like if I tried, I could eat 20 donuts all day for a month, and I probably would look the same as I do now, right? I mean, obviously maybe not exactly the same, but you're not really going to notice I've put on any weight, okay? Because I just don't have the genetic disposition to put on weight. My genes just won't allow me to become overweight. Like, it's just not going to happen, where some people it does. And for me, I'm at more risk, because what that means is if my body won't engulf the toxicity in fat, that means it's going to get to my organs, where someone that's overweight, their body will actually hide it in that actual fat to protect them, right? So sometimes if you're overweight, you're better off than someone like me. So some of you are thinking, man, you know what, Mr. O, you're one of those annoying people that can eat everything they want. You're really lucky. Well, actually, I'm not as lucky as you, because you would last longer than me in an acidic emergency crisis, okay? So I actually have to really be careful. So if you are overweight, thank God that you are, okay? Because otherwise you wouldn't want that acidity going to your organs and breaking it down and giving you a hard time later on, okay? So thank God if you're overweight, because your body is actually trying to protect you. So by the way, that doesn't mean that you have to just stay overweight, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, I said I was going to mention that if you're overweight and you've been trying to lose weight for a long time and you just don't seem to be having access, how you can actually make that happen. And you actually can make that happen. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it right now. Now, here's the thing. You might have tried a lot of different diets, and you might have put a lot of energy into exercising, right? You get really serious and you're like, right, that's it. Maybe it's the 1st of January and you're like, right, that's it. New Year's resolution. I'm going to start exercising, and you start giving it your all, right? Let's say you've got real strong willpower and you actually don't give up, and you actually keep it up, 6 months into the year. And then you're just looking around, you're trying some things, you're just doing everything, and you're like, man, this weight just doesn't seem to be shifting. Right? And you're like, man, what's happening? Well, you're not over fat, you're over acid, okay? That's what's happening here. And I've got news for you. You will never drop weight, no matter how much you exercise or diet, until you create an alkaline environment. Okay, this is for people that just can't seem to lose weight. I'm talking about right here. Okay, see, what you have to remember is your body doesn't think in terms of weight loss. All right, that's not what your body's thinking about. Your body is a mechanism that is designed to survive. It's designed to mitigate risk. It's designed to make sure to keep you as healthy and protect your organs as a priority. That is the priority of your body, not losing weight. So if you've got an acidic environment in your body is not going to prioritize dropping that weight, which is actually protecting your organs, okay, if the environment is still acidic. But if you give your body the right environment and you make it more alkaline, then the body's like, you know what? We don't actually have to keep this fat anymore, because the body's more alkaline. You know what? We can actually start dropping this fat now, because we don't need it anymore. Let's start dumping this acid and get it out of the bloodstream, right? So what we really need to do is to alkalize and energize your body, because it's going to change how you feel and it's going to change how healthy you actually are. Now, of course, if you're eating a very acidic diet, then you're going to be in a situation situation where there's a lot of things that you enjoy having. You know, you enjoy your coffee, you enjoy your sugar, you enjoy your cakes, you enjoy all of these different things that are healthy for you. And you know what? You sometimes think, man, if I give up these things, I'm not going to feel great. Right? Because you enjoy those foods, they make you feel a lot of pleasure. All right. And what that actually is they're parasites in your body that are actually craving that. Now, if you can create an environment where those parasites can't actually survive anymore, all right, those cravings will actually disappear. All right. Now, sometimes as well, you may have certain addictions, all right? Like say coffee, for example. People drink coffee and, you know, they learn a little bit about caffeine and stuff like that. And then they're like, you know what? I want to give this up, but oh man, when I stop drinking caffeine, I get a really bad headache. All right. And so they're thinking, man, how can I actually do this without getting a headache? Is there a way? I don't know if there is. So I'm just going to keep drinking it because I just can't deal with this headache, man. Like I've got to have this caffeine. I need the energy. Right. And the same can be for any other vices that people have, right? Now, why does that happen, right? We call it withdrawal symptoms. What's actually happening is the body, once it detects that this acidic substance is actually not coming into the body anymore, the body's like, oh great, right? Now we have an opportunity to dump all the acid that we were hiding and trying to keep away from the organs. Now we can actually dump that into the bloodstream. And so then you start feeling a bit, you start feeling a bit queasy or whatever, however it manifests itself in your body. It might be a headache, it might be something else, it might be low energy, because there's all this acid that's now in the bloodstream because the body's now trying to get rid of it, okay? And so sometimes when you're giving these things up, you feel worse before you feel better. Isn't that right? So what if there was a way? Wouldn't it be cool if there was a way of cleansing the blood of acid, right? Let's say you give something up. What if there was a way that you could do it without feeling all that pain? So you don't get the symptoms and you can detoxify your body at the same time. Wouldn't that be cool? And actually reduce the cravings that those parasites in your body have for all those acidic substances and create an environment where they just can't exist anymore, or they exist in very small numbers, and therefore you're just not feeling that craving for that thing anymore. Wouldn't that be cool? Well, the good news is you can, all right? So here's the deal. Now you understand how important alkalinity is, all right? This acid-alkaline balance, it is literally life or death, right? According to the blood and the pH and everything like that. So what we're going to talk about now is how to alkalize your body and eat your way, literally eat your way or drink your way to maximum energy. So how do we get energy? Well, as I alluded to earlier, your cells, your organs, your brains, well, your brain, you have one brain. Hey. Well, as I alluded to earlier, your cells, your organs, all right, your brain, your skin, your nervous system, all need electric power to have their energy to actually function. And alkalinity provides the ions necessary to create that environment. And acid actually strips that ability away. So essentially what we're trying to do here is get as much electric energy into the body as possible. So the body works on electrical frequencies, okay? And food, incidentally, has electrical frequencies. So that's what we're going to be talking about right now. So what happens is when you eat food, they're basically converted into chemicals that will create electric charge. And this is to be used by the organs which emit electrical current. And in fact, all of your cells communicate with each other through electric pulses of energy. So as I'm sure you can appreciate, not all food is created equal in terms of electrical energy, all right? You'll notice when you eat certain things, you feel good, and then when you eat other things, you feel low in energy, right? You've noticed that happen, right? So the goal here is to eliminate the foods that take away more energy than they actually provide, okay? So if you eat food that's lifeless and has very little electrical charge, you are not going to get the energy your body needs. So basically, just to give you an idea here, okay, the measurement, the electrical measurement of power that we're going to be using here or discussing is megahertz, okay? Now, just to give you an idea, organs operate on an average of about 70 megahertz, okay? Now, more specifically, your liver operates at about 55 to 60 megahertz. Your colon operates at about 58 to 63 megahertz. Your stomach, 58 to 65. Okay, the top of your head, 60 to 70 megahertz, all right? What about your brain? Well, your brain has a little bit more, understandably so. Your brain is operating at about 72 to 78 megahertz of energy. Now, let's just say you have a chocolate cake. How much megahertz do you think chocolate cake has? All right? Write that down in the comments as a guess, okay? And then let me know if you were right. Now, question for you, and you can put your answer down in the comments below. If your body needs 70 megahertz of energy to actually function, and you eat a chocolate cake, all right, which is 1 to 3 megahertz, are you going to be in a deficit or a surplus of energy? All right, put your answer below. I'll wait. Now, of course, you are correct. It is going to be in a deficit. And guess what? What do you think a Big Mac is in terms of energy, megahertz? You're looking at about 5 megahertz, okay? So foods like that are basically going to put you in a deficit, okay? A huge deficit, because it's probably going to take more energy to digest it than it actually gives you anyway. So what are some foods that we can find that actually give off a high electric charge of energy, or a higher one, okay? One that will maybe put us in a surplus, all right? What kind of foods do you think those are? Living foods, foods that are alive, okay? All right, not some dead mass of meat, okay? So for example, if the animal's dead, then, you know, there's no real energy there, okay? But if it's alive, like a plant, now there's some energy we're talking about. So let's just look at the megahertz that you get from, say, raw almonds, for example. Raw almonds give off 40 to 50 megahertz of energy, okay? That's raw almonds, all right? So now we're getting a little bit closer to the frequency your body needs. Now, green vegetables, now we're talking 70 to 90 megahertz. Okay, so now we're in the region of what your body needs, right? Green vegetables, wheatgrass, for example, is like 70 to 90 megahertz. Now, something you might find interesting, just an interesting fact here, a rose, okay, now obviously you don't eat roses, but a rose actually gives off 320 megahertz of energy. If you ever smelled a rose and you feel, you just feel this, you know, you feel energetic, you feel happy, that's because you're getting a charge of energy that's just emanating from that rose, okay? So if your energy is low, will you be operating at maximum capacity? Will your organs function at maximum capacity? No, you start actually declining, okay? You start going down, all right? You start aging. Your skin is an organ, okay? And when your skin starts to crack and it starts to break down and it's dehydrated, then guess what's happening? The energy isn't there, okay? The collagen cells in your skin that make your body elastic and supple, if they're not getting the energy they need, they're not going to be able to function much longer for a good way of time. And so you start to age really quickly. Okay, so now we've looked at food that have a high level of energy, all right, and low levels of energy. Let's look at acidic and alkaline foods, okay, so we get a better idea and get an idea of a balance we should have, because some people just think all things acid, any food that's even remotely acid, like say fruit, for example, they're like, okay, well that's bad, it's acidic, it's bad, I need to stay away from it, okay? Well, let's just hold the horses there. That's not completely accurate, okay? There is a balance, and it's not bad to have acidic things, okay? Protein, for example, is an amino acid, okay? You need protein to build muscle and things like that. So not all acid is bad. I just want to be clear on that. It's an excess of acid is where you get the problems, all right? And so you remember I said to you that 1 part of acid needs to be neutralized by 4 parts of alkaline. So we should have a ratio that is kind of around that region, and we'll talk a little bit about that, right? So let's look at some acidic foods, okay? Sugar, wheat or refined carbs, okay? Acidic. Meat is acidic. Alcohol, caffeine is acidic. Aged, mature cheese, acidic. Tobacco, definitely acidic. Now, here are some things that aren't so bad for you but are still actually acidic, okay? Legumes, okay? So I talked about proteins, amino acids. Legumes have a slight acidity to it, okay? Some grains and nuts are acidic, right? Now, are those things good for us? Yes, they are, all right? But again, we're going to talk about a ratio soon. So what foods are actually alkaline? Lemon. Now you're like, whoa, hold on there, Mr. O. Isn't lemon acidic? Isn't it? Doesn't it have a citric acid? Yes, you're right, it does. But see, here's the thing. In the body now, it's a slightly different story. See, here's what happens with lemon. Lemon is acid once you take it in. You first take it in and take it into your stomach. It is at that point acidic. But then it's broken down into fructose and absorbed into the blood. Okay, you with me? Then it's taken into the liver and the fructose is broken down into glucose. And then it gets put back into the blood and it gets sent to the cells with oxygen and it gets burnt in the cell into energy, okay, that electrical impulse, that negative charge, and it leaves an alkaline ash. So lemon, once it's gone through all the processing, is actually alkaline once it's in the body. Isn't that interesting, right? Now, what else is alkaline? Dark leafy vegetables. So spinach, watercress, all of those things, kale, all of those things. Think of all the green things that you eat, all right? All of those things, rocket, I mean, you name it. Anything green is generally alkaline, okay? Now, things like millet, quinoa, buckwheat, spelt, almonds, and Brazil nuts are all alkaline, okay? A lot of seeds, soy, lentils contribute to the alkalinity in your body. So I mentioned things on both ends of the spectrum, things that are acidic and things that are actually alkaline. What is a good balance to actually keep the blood a pH of 7.36, okay, which is actually the ideal. You want to be between 7.35 and 7.4, all right? But the ideal is 7.36. So what kind of ratio should you be eating in terms of food to actually have that balance, right? Well, the acidic foods that you eat shouldn't be more than about 20 to 30% of your diet, right? And the alkaline food should be the majority of what you eat, which is 70 to 80%, all right? If you've got that balance, then you should keep a very healthy balance in the body and still be able to enjoy some of the acidic foods and be absolutely fine. Now, here's the thing. I said earlier at the beginning of this video that I would talk about why it is that some vegans and vegetarians are sick and they're overweight. And you're like, I don't want to be vegan. I ain't trying to be vegetarian, because those people, I see them, they're sick, they're miserable all the time. I don't want to be anything like them. Well, there's a reason for that. You see, a lot of people, when they change to that diet, they don't actually know what to eat. So they eat the foods that they're used to eating that are vegetarian, all right? Or a lot of things that they can actually substitute for the things that they used to enjoy, right? So they're eating a lot of tofu. They're eating a huge amount of carbs like pasta and rice, okay? And if they're vegetarian but not vegan, then they're having a lot of milk. And all of these things leave a huge amount of an acid ash in the body. And so it just strips the body, all the blood cells, of that electrical charge, all right? That negative charge, it gets stripped because your body is just overly acidic. So although you're vegetarian, although you're vegan, a lot of people are just eating a tremendous amount of acid, and that is why they're sick, because there's an imbalance, there's a chemical imbalance in the body, and the cells are not able to function, all right? So you'll have someone that's eating meat, right? Let's say maybe they're even eating, you know, half meat, half vegetables, but they're still getting more alkaline in their body versus actual acid, all right, versus the vegetarian who's like 90% eating acid and 10% eating alkaline. Well, the person eating meat is going to be better off, okay? But if you're somebody that's eating mostly alkaline, 70 to 80% alkaline, and just a little bit of the healthy acids, all right, your nuts, your grains, your legumes, all of those things, then you're going to be feeling much better. You're going to have a lot of energy, okay? And it's literally all to do with this pH, this potency of hydrogen. You can literally change how well you feel, your sickness and your health, with regulating this pH. So it's all about making sure you get that balance. Remember that 80 to 20 or 70 to 30 alkaline to acid, right? That's what you want to have. That's the balance you want to have in order to actually maintain healthiness. So if you've got this message and you're like, you know what, I think you're right, Mr. O, you know, I need to kind of make some adjustments here. I'm feeling all the things that you were saying, you know, some of those things that are happening in my body right now, and I actually want to change those things, all right? And through food and drink, or possibly even your emotions, all right, or a combination of the two, you've built up acid, right? You might even be vegetarian or vegan. And, you know, maybe you're just stressing out about food all the time. Well, if you're stressing out and worrying about it, you're actually creating acid in your body. So all that work you're doing to eat that good food is just being thrown away. Well, what do you do? Well, remember, I said it takes 4 parts alkaline to neutralize 1 part of acid, right? So what you really need to do is you need to cleanse, all right? If you've got a lot of acid in your body, you need to just take some time out and cleanse your body, okay? We wash every day on the outside of our body. At least I hope you do. I know I do, all right? Anyway, don't answer that if you don't. I don't want to know. La 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 la. I don't want to know. Okay, just stay away from me. Just wash more often, man. Okay, don't do that to yourself. So the first thing you need to do is cleanse, and you need to hydrate your body. Super hydrate. Just super hydrate your body with alkaline liquids. All right, by juicing. Now there's alkaline drinks that you can actually buy, but what I'm going to challenge you to do is to actually do it yourself. Okay, you can do juicing by yourself. Okay, you don't have to buy these expensive powders and stuff like that. I mean, you can just do your research on, like, you know, green drinks that you can put in, like, you know, you can put kale in there, you can put some cucumber in there, you can put some spinach in there, you know, for a bit of a kick of flavor. You can put a little bit of ginger, not too much, right? You can put spinach in there, or even wheatgrass. Okay, juice those things, and for 7 to 10 days ideally. All right, if you don't want to do that, just do it 3 to 4 days, but for 7 to 10 days, just drink nothing but green drink liquid. You're not gonna die. Okay, people are like, I'm gonna die if I don't have food, I'm gonna be hungry. Yeah, you probably will feel a bit hungry for 3 days, but after 3 days, you won't even feel that hunger. And by day 4, you're gonna be feeling so good, you're gonna be like, what, this is the best I've felt. I don't even ever remember feeling this good. Okay, so for a minimum of 3 to 4 days, at least, do a minimum of 3 to 4 days of drinking just green juice. And by the way, you should be drinking about 3 liters, okay? So maybe just get, like, I don't know, 3 1-liter cartons or 1.5, whatever you've got, and just take those with you and drink those throughout the day. Okay, and make sure that you're getting at least 3 liters of that juice in, and you're going to just super hydrate those cells, your body. You are going to feel amazing. You're going to find that a lot of the cravings that you have are just going to disappear. All right, and your body's going to start releasing that acid that's around the organs and stuff like that, and it's just going to put it in the bloodstream. And because you've got that alkaline buffer to deal with it, you're not going to feel a lot of the aches and the pains that people normally get. All right, and you're going to notice you're going to be dropping weight as well, because your body is more alkaline now. And now it recognizes, oh, we can actually dump some of this stuff that we've been trying to protect. Yeah, let's drop this weight. Let's drop the fat so the acid can actually come out and we can deal with it. All right. And you're going to create that alkaline balance in your body. Now, if you're thinking, oh, but that means I've got to get a juicer and all of that. Don't worry about that. There are juicers that you can get that are very, very good. There's one that I use. It's about, I think about 50 odd pounds or so. In US dollars, I don't know, that's like what, $60-$70 US. Okay, and this is a juicer, I forget the name of it now. I'm going to put a link in the description, okay? And this juicer is what you call a slow juicer, it's a mastication juicer, right? What that means is it actually grinds, it cold presses the vegetables. And here's the reason you want to do that versus having a juicer that just basically uses blades and chops through it all. The blades just chop through everything. A lot of oxygen gets into it, okay, because it's been chopped up like that. All right, and what happens is the same way, you know, when you cut an apple and then it starts to go brown, that's oxidation that's starting to take place. Now what happens is when you use one of those fast juicers, it actually starts to oxidize very quickly, and you've got to drink it literally within a few hours or it starts to turn bad. With a mastication juicer, because it's cold pressed, you can actually leave it in the fridge for about 2 days and it will be fine. All right, so you're drinking, so in effect what you're drinking is fresher juice that hasn't been oxidized as quickly, and you're going to be much better off as a result. Okay, so I'm going to put a link to that down below. Okay, so let me know how you get on. I want to know. Okay, when you start making these changes, write me and tell me. Write in the comments, let me know how good you start feeling. Tell me if you feel more energy. I mean, look, man, your skin is gonna look better, your brain function is gonna be better, your brain's gonna be clearer. Okay, your aches and pains will start to disappear. All right, maybe you've got some ulcers and some sores. They're all gonna start to dwindle away if you keep this up long enough. Okay, having an alkaline balance. Okay, you're gonna lose weight, you're gonna look good, you're gonna feel good, you're gonna slow down the aging process. And that, my friends, is how you can literally eat and drink your way to maximum energy and have maximum performance in life. So if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. That really helps YouTube to promote this and show it to more people. So please do share this video with people that you think, you know what, there's a point that Mr. O made there that I think so-and-so needs to hear. yeah, share this video with them. All right, if you've got any questions, leave them below and I'll be happy to answer them for you. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because I might not have your number on WhatsApp to actually do that. And sometimes you might be wondering, man, how do I know when the videos are actually out? All right, so you can do that by subscribing. And if you turn on, there's a bell, it gives you a little notification. It will tell you, it will pop up on your phone when the next video is actually out. All right, so all you've got to do is create a Gmail account, and you can YouTube how to do that, and you'll be able to figure out how to do that. You'll know when the next video comes out. Okay, so that's it for me today. I'm Mr. O, and remember, if you're gonna live the epic life. You're just one habit away.